What's going on, everybody? So clearly today I think I'm going to talk about Trump's alleged assassination attempt. I'm trying to handle it as quickly as possible. Got so many things running through my mind, and I automatically will say we're waiting for the investigation to come out, and just prayers to those that were murdered and injured. And it is just a statement to our time specifically. We haven't had like something like this in a while, but I would encourage you to Google political violence in America. Google it. See who the main culprits are. Yes, it happens on both sides, but an overwhelming majority of the time, they are conservatives that are murking out people on both sides. You know what I'm saying? Not even just, murking out liberals, but they're also like trying to attack their own. So just research that for yourself to see, because they're going to try and give you this both sides. They're going to try and give you, oh, the liberals are stoking violence, but like the statistics bear a clear story of who stokes violence and who commits the violence. But moving right along to this specific incident, I just think the sniff test, it don't pass it on so many levels, so many levels. Let's go by them one by one. And of course, I reserve this to say that I am waiting for evidence to come out. Right? I'm waiting for the investigation. I don't want to jump to too many conclusions. I'm just going to state my questions at the moment. But, I trust the FBI. I trust their ability to do this. They've done it very successfully in the past. But if you look at the climate of the nation now, the conservatives are questioning the FBI. They think everything in the government is corrupt against them. So I guarantee you, if something comes up where something doesn't smell right, and the FBI has some evidence for it, the conservatives have already had their argument saying, oh, this is a deep state cover up. Oh, the FBI is really covering up for someone else or whatever. So that's coming. That's coming. So it's like, unless it agrees with their version of events, they're going to do everything to attack any source of validity at all. Which is the point, right? They're attacking expertise, even though they've done right in just about every other case in the past. So that's neither here nor there. But moving into this specific incident, the main one for me is about how people respond to similar situations in the past. People really don't change their stripes. How do people respond to fear in particular? And I encourage everyone to Google when Donald Trump was rushed off stage. This is the third time that it's happened, at least that I have seen. And the previous two times, I need you to check it out. This fool was the scaredest person I've ever seen, and they couldn't have got him off the stage fast enough. He wasn't working against FBI people. He was ready to go. You could literally see the terror in his face, and he was following instructions and was out of there. I think we could say, for this incident, if anyone saw, it was the opposite response. He was like defiant, right? So he went down allegedly after the bullet pierced his ear. And mind you, let me give a context. Those other incidents, he was not attacked. Like, a bullet didn't come. He wasn't hit with anything, whatever. This time, he was actually shot, and he reacted more boldly. So he was literally fighting his Secret Service agents. And if you know anything about security, it's like, if you've been shot, you need to be covered, because you have no idea of the threat. You don't know if that's just one shooter. It could be multiple shooters. It could be a lot of things going on. So you need to get down, and you're briefed on all this, right? So not only have you had the past experience, but you've been briefed on all this stuff about how to handle it. And this guy seemed far more concerned about a photo op. He wanted to be out, have his head up, expose his head, expose all the areas that if the shooter was out there, he could be shot. So it seemed like he was far more concerned about creating a photo op of perceived strength and literally putting other people's lives in danger. So if you're the target and you refuse to get out the way and you're still trying to stand up, you're putting the whole audience in danger. You're putting the rest of your Secret Service people in danger. And for what? So you could perceive yourself as strong, for all these wonderfully praised photographers that were there to manage to get all these photos and everything. That's the step one. It's a complete 180 from how he's reacted in fear and how anyone's trained in an active live shooter situation. Two, that area that the shooter was at should have been cleared. Every Secret Service, every security person's like, there is no way, no reason that wasn't cleared at all. So that it's very odd, you know what I'm saying, that like, you know, a shooter could get that clear of a range on that, and it wasn't clear. Thirdly, the reports on the ground and from People News that said like they spotted him, that there are people in the audience that were just like, yo, there's somebody on the roof, and no one really responded. Right? You know what I'm saying? If there's somebody on the roof, why wouldn't they alert people and say, hey, let's make sure President Trump isn't on stage? We've just heard reports that someone's on the roof. But no, even after they identified in the audience there was someone there, they just seemingly let them just go on stage again. You know what I'm saying? So those things just don't smell right. And then you add the actual context of what's going on. You know, the narrative, you know, he thought he was going to get a big bump out of the debate. And if you look at the statistics, Joe Biden actually gained. He picked up on independents and he widened his lead to a 48% lead in most general polls. So that's not working. And the National Convention for Republicans is coming up. And what better way to get those ratings that Donald Trump thinks is more important than anything than to stage this event where he does not really hurt, and then everyone's going to be waiting on bated breath to see him. He's going to come across as this hero. And how much do you want to bet that the other side is going to use this as an excuse to retaliate, a further excuse to be a victim? Oh, poor us, everyone comes after us, and now, oh, the deep state's coming at us, and if the FBI says he was partially to blame, oh, the FBI, we can't get justice at all. This is literally just another stepping stone in terms of like building up this victimization and building up the state that's like so against him and giving his people an excuse to be victimized for more violence and more ungovernable, unruly, ununited behavior. And so I say, like, just based on all those things, to me, it just does not pass the sniff test at all. You know, how did they miss? You know what I'm saying? Like, how did more people on stage not get murdered? How did the only other person like that was in the audience seem to get married? So this shot must have been the worst shot ever, and all these things. And a 20-year-old conservative with no social media history, it's giving what is going on here. So again, I reserve myself to the facts come out, but it doesn't pass the sniff test for me. And my final thing to say is, like, even despite all of this, name me another president or political figure that you would even think might even fake it. Just the fact that this comes into people's minds at all, I think, is a testament to this man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care, like, even with the Bushes and everything, even Richard Nixon and everything, I don't think that people would think that someone would literally fake something like this. But a lot of people are saying Trump probably could have faked it. And that in itself is saying enough, that we think that somebody has the moral character to even potentially do this. That person probably shouldn't be president, right? You know what I'm saying? If we think that they could have the moral depravity to even have this enter our minds, you would never think that Joe Biden would do something like this. Ever, right? As many things as you think he is, he's old or whatever, but we know he wouldn't do this, right? And I think that alone in itself should say who should be president. But until next time, of course, we'll be waiting on bated breath to see what's going on here. So hopefully research for yourself. Look at those videos of Trump when he was in danger. Look at him, and you tell me if what you saw on the tapes or the recent tape or is how he responds in danger. I just want to see it. So until next time.